Welcome back to another episode of the Furiously Curious Show, where we talk about business, life, Christianity, and more. Gary, you're not joyful. Why are you not joyful?
Episode what?
Episode 55.
Okay. Halfway to that magical number.
Yeah. Haven't got any feedback yet on last week with when we react to our all the little clips from the last year.
Did that get posted?
Tomorrow.
Oh.
Because we record on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Always a week behind.
Always a week behind. Yeah, just I'm very rarely grumpy. A little grumpy today.
Okay.
Not good. Don't totally know.
No idea.
Definitely struggling, like the body's struggling, right? Because I played in that fundraiser roller hockey tournament.
That gets you down.
In Memorial. Yeah, you're crippled, right?
This morning at 3 o'clock. Couldn't sleep anymore. Just throbbing pain.
Okay. I'm on my knees beside the bed.
Okay.
Yeah. It's good posture to be in, but just sucks when you...
I go downstairs around 5 a.m. and like this morning, it was like 6:30, whatever. I was like starting to cry. It was hurting so much.
Oh no!
And Malika came down, prayed for me.
Oh, nice.
That was nice. I just went to the doctor again today, and he told me, he goes, probably surgery's like 2 years away. And but then I emailed Ed Les.
Good thing we have free healthcare.
Emailed Ed Les, and he said there's this crazy thing.
There's nothing free in life. I shouldn't have said that. I don't like that term. Sorry, you emailed Ed Les.
Are you sure?
I'm sure you're good. I don't need to interrupt you yet. I can though. I'm really good at it. Not as good as you, but close second.
He said that in Canada, you can get private health care as long as you're not from the same province. So he gave me the contact information of a private clinic in Alberta, and I can get surgery there, private surgery, but just the consultation's $1,000. And I'm like, well, the pain is going down a little bit. And so I'm just like, I'm just going to wait it out and see.
Okay. A couple from our church, they went to Germany, probably for a similar surgery.
Yeah.
Very expensive. Fundraised for it. And
okay.
Apparently they do a better job in Germany.
Okay. I crossed my mind to do like a fundraiser or something else like that, but I'm just like, if I can just wait it out.
Is it actually getting better?
Yeah, the last 2 weeks, the pain has been going down
better.
a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
I went down on my hydromorphone prescription, cut it in half this week. Everyone's freaking out that I'm taking it. I think I'm going to turn into an addict.
No, it's fair. It's fair. Yeah. If nobody cared what you were taking and ingesting in your body, that wouldn't be a good sign, right?
Yeah, the fact
that people care should be.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be frustrated with that when people.
I'm not frustrated.
Actually a good word. That's a good word for everybody, actually.
Yes.
Right.
Talk about being frustrated. I heard Marie's a little frustrated at your mechanical bull purchase.
Oh yeah, just joked.
So
she sent me a bunch of reels.
How did you get to
these?
Oh,
sorry.
Back up.
Well, no, she sends me a bunch of reels of these ladies that are like their husbands ragging on them for like their spending like their Starbucks purchases and their impulse clothes shopping trips, and then the husband casually goes and buys a $75,000 truck while he's on his lunch break. Right? She's making fun of me. Well, I bought a mechanical bull. It's a business decision, of course, because everything I do is.
How did you get to this?
This mechanical bull thing? I was trying to rent them because we had our staff. We had a big staff party for all businesses on Friday night, last Friday night at our house. And even for our auction and stuff, we've tried to it's a huge liability issue. Like it's very similar to our cornfield races that we had for years and years. We had cornfield races for 8-9 years.
They're totally done forever?
They're definitely done on Grandma's farm. She was watching the news and the newscast guy got a hold of her and talked about some person that got sued into the Stone Age for somebody getting really hurt on their farm. And she's like, all of a sudden something clicked where there was 15 kids under the age of 20 driving cars at 80 kilometers an hour in the field with 100 spectators standing there.
Sounds fun.
With no barrier. And there was rollovers and crashes and it's a disaster.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's not happening. But
so you want to
I thought we'd get a mechanical bull, start renting it out, use it. And we tried to rent one numerous times, and it's almost impossible to rent a mechanical bull around here. I know you can, because I've been at birthday parties and stuff in the last 10 years. People have had them, but it's definitely not. I don't think there's too many in Chilliwack. So
where'd you buy it?
Out of the U.S., at some company out of California, and they're extremely expensive.
10 grand or something?
Yeah, more than that. Because I didn't realize that there's a bunch of features that they don't just include, right? So you gotta like the automatic setting where it,
those you do have to do manually.
Otherwise, you have to manually control it, turn the which.
Now you want to be able to turn that dial up and just get that kid off. Get Julius on there and whip him off every time.
I think Julius is pretty tough. I think he'd hang on for quite a while.
Huh.
His head's actually bobbing all the time. Like he's always
okay.
on a
So
mechanical
this is
bull, now that I'm
what
thinking
business
about
is this under? New business or?
No, Gary Baars Real Estate. It's a real estate purchase. It's kind of like the real estate economy actually being on a mechanical bull. Up and down, all over the place. Right now we're on the downward, the slow and steady trudging down. The economy and the real estate. Well, we live in a real estate economy in Canada. I think we do. I think we do all over. I think that I've said it many times, but I think that everybody just lives off equity. I think we live in an equity world. So that's changing. So all of a sudden now businesses that have positive cash flow and net income are desirable. And the idea of owning apartment buildings and houses and things that are like, a tenant and not sure if it's going to be worth 3 times as much in 2 years. All of a sudden.
Yeah. Unless it's long-term. I'm assuming if you're buying an apartment over 20 years, you're going to get
you'll be fine. Right. But we had such a substantial run up. And the reality is that money is gaining value so quickly. It is hard to know how long it could be. Like we could have a long period of time where things are like, if you look, sometimes I go in the history because I'm a realtor. It's very easy for me to look at every listing and see on a place that sold. I can go basically look at any place and see when it last sold. And there was a huge stretch basically from 2007 all the way to 2016, which I mean, doesn't seem like a lot, but if you consider how much prices have gone up in the last 7 years, the 2007 to 2015 era was flat. Pretty much.
I actually remember in 2015 when I bought my first house.
Yeah.
My sister was pushing me, don't buy, rent. It's going to keep going down because of that run.
Okay. And then 2016, 17 was a very hot market. Yeah. And then 2018, 19 was pretty tough. It was actually pretty stagnant. That's when I bought a farm in Chilliwack. It was a bit of a tougher time. And then in 2020, the governments around the world turned the money printers on. And so I think the question everyone else is asking now is that going to happen again? Right?
Hope not. I mean, Trump's pushing Jerome Powell hard to lower interest rates.
It's embarrassing.
And he's just not moving. He's not moving.
No, because he's like, they shouldn't be connected at all. Governments and central bankers should not be talking.
I actually thought about that, about Elections Canada. I guess Polyev is doing a by-election.
Yeah, with 200 and some people on the ballot.
Yeah, so I guess they're fixing that now, but it made me...
Are they? How are they fixing it?
I don't know. I heard somewhere they were fixing it, but it made me think of Elections Canada. Like, who runs that? And how separate is it from the government?
Not that separate.
No. It's all messed up.
You also don't believe people landed on the moon, so you are a bit of a...
No, you're pretty. That was you.
Oh, sorry.
You brought that up. Okay, let's go to Gentle and Lowly, and then we got a whole bunch of other stuff. You always want to do the heavy stuff first, so I'll follow your lead. Did you read it? Put that thing away.
Oh, man.
Frick. Gary's brain is gone now.
No, I read it. Yeah, I read it.
I loved this chapter. What'd you think of it?
I liked it too. It definitely, at first I was not understanding it. So I don't know if anyone's following along in this book, but we are reading Gentle and Lowly by, I think it's Dane Ortland or another Ortland.
Yeah, Dane, yeah.
Dane. His ways are not our ways. From Isaiah 55. My thoughts are not your thoughts.
Yeah, so he says in here, and actually John Calvin says in here.
Oh, you're fine. Just as you were, right? I got one person that's more important than you, and that's my wife. So
you were. Okay, I'm cool with that.
As you were.
Anyways, he says in there, like Christians say that a lot when like stuff's going wrong, that like his ways are not your ways, and they kind of move on, not understanding like why things are happening, whatever, on God's sovereignty. But that piece, that verse, actually in the context is talking about the graciousness of God, and that we don't understand how great it is. And so the full passage is Isaiah 55:69. Seek the Lord when he may be found, call upon him when he is near. Let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts. Let him return to the Lord, that he may have compassion on him, and to our God, and for he will abundantly pardon. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. For as high as the heavens are above the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. And so what he's actually arguing here is that you don't understand how much I'll pardon, because we constantly compare it to the human side of like how gracious God is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he says God is infinitely compassionate and infinitely ready to forgive, so that it ought to be ascribed exclusively to our unbelief. Oh yeah, so that it ought to be ascribed exclusively to our unbelief if we do not obtain pardon from him. That'd be an interesting word for a lot of people that are listening to this. I'm going to read it one more time. God is infinitely compassionate and infinitely ready to forgive, so that it ought to be ascribed exclusively to our unbelief if we do not obtain pardon from him. And I think, and there again, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like the way I was brought up and the ideas that were in my head as if I was just waiting to be saved or something, which is just not accurate, right? And I think that, I think that it was never put blunt. It was never put, because of the sovereignty of God was pushed so hard. And because the idea of the doctrine of election was pushed so hard, it was pushed to the dangerous spot where, and they, there again, they wouldn't have said it. They never would have abdicated our responsibility of man. Yeah. But by default, when you push a teaching to its extreme, you automatically do that, right? And I think that to me is just, I don't know, this really hit me. I underline that part. Yeah. Another part.
So actually I'll read the piece here. So there is nothing that troubles our consciousness more, said John Calvin on this passage, than when we think that God is like ourselves. When life takes a difficult turn, Christians often remind others with a shrug, his ways are not our ways, communicating mysteries of divine providence by which he orchestrates events in ways that surprise us. The mysterious depth of divine providence is, of course, a precious biblical truth. But the passage in which we find his ways are not our ways comes from Isaiah 55. And in the context, it means something quite different. And so, that's what he argues. And then he says later again, he explains, Calvin explains this and how he notes that some interpret the phrase, my thoughts are not your ways, to be a sheer distancing between God and us, expressing the enormous gulf between sacred divinity and profane humanity. Yet Calvin saw that, in fact, the flow of the passage is exactly the opposite direction. And so it's how crazy forgiveness is. And that's what we don't understand. We actually understand like impatience and wrath and anger and like him not wanting us. Mm-hmm. That's where we're naturally thinking God is like. And the whole point of this is like, no, it's the opposite of that. We don't understand how much he forgives. That's what we have a trouble understanding. That's what we're always pushing against, saying like, no, he's not, like, we're not going to go to him. But that's,
On the bottom page 156, it's a line it talks about he will abundantly pardon. And then,
however ashamed and disgusted with ourselves, he will not tepidly pardon. He will abundantly pardon. He does not merely accept us. He sweeps us up into his arms. Be ashamed
and disgusted with ourselves. Can you identify with that?
Yes.
I can identify with that. Yeah. Many times in my life, I've just felt like, so grossed out. It's like, okay. Yeah. And so I think because we would assume that we would never forgive someone if they were doing to us what we're doing to God, right? Yeah.
So I think when we're most honest with how corrupt we are and our own sin, and talk about it with people and are open about it, and don't like minimize it, and then we understand this of how gracious God is, then our response is I'll quote a different piece from Isaiah here. For you shall go out in joy and be led forth in peace. The mountains and the hills before you shall break forth in singing, and all the trees of the field shall clap their hands. Instead of the thorn shall come up the cypress, instead of the beer, the myrtle, and it shall make the name of the Lord an everlasting sign, that it shall not be cut off. Like, that's when we're most excited about the gospel and about Jesus. Mm-hmm. When we're really, really open about our corruptness and that we're really shitty, but that God is like, that's who I want. That's who I'm willing to save. Like, come to me. Like, don't be like trepidatious. Like, it's fully open, which is the most exciting thing in the world. Like, there is nothing
really counter to how we feel.
Yeah, that's what he's trying to say. This whole chapter's about. Yeah. It's like, we don't get it. Kind of that. My thoughts are not your ways. That's what he's trying to say. Yeah. We don't get it. Like, it's so counter to how we're like, Gary's a little bit late, and I'm like annoyed. Yeah, like that's the opposite of God.
Really annoyed.
Not really annoyed. You were on time today, but you just sat in your truck for a while. I looked at the watch, you pulled in, it was exactly 2:15.
Hammer down.
Okay, moving on.
I was supposed to bring cows across the border today.
Okay.
So that's actually one of the other reasons I'm really frustrated, because it's extremely difficult to bring cows across the border. It's always been a pain. Yeah. And now it's at another level to the point where I'm like really sick of doing it.
Because of
the bird flu. So there's like a bird flu in California that's killing animals left, right, and center. And because the CFIA regulates that, I test these cows for the bird flu, and the bird flu test is only good for 7 days. So like just the timing is it's so tight that every time I barely get my paperwork back on time, and basically, so this time I had to beg for an extra day and So,
yeah. Okay. I think a lot of listeners here would know Bill Boosterd.
Yeah.
He's a longtime business owner and founder of Denbo Transport. He was actually on episode 17 of the Furiously Curious show. So if you want to check that out. But I'm bringing that up because he just finished the 10-week coaching program with me.
Okay.
And so he wrote a testimonial about that. This is what he said. I came into coaching with Kyle expecting encouragement, clarity, and insight. What I didn't expect, but deeply needed, was confrontation with the quieter parts of myself I hadn't fully examined. Kyle's approach isn't just about setting goals or improving habits. It's about aligning your life with what you truly believe and discovering where your behaviors don't quite match the values you hold dear. He asks hard questions with grace. He challenges with gentleness, yet without letting you hide. At times, the friction was real, but so was the growth. Through our journey, I came to see that some of my deepest beliefs were still in my head and hadn't fully reached my heart. Kyle's coaching helped me bring those truths deeper, drawing more honesty, more humility, and more courage. So if you're looking for a coach who won't just pat you on the back, but will walk beside you and wrestle, reflect, and rise, Kyle's the one. I'm grateful for the sharpening, the discomfort, and the clarity he's helped bring into my life and leadership. Bill Boosterd, founder of Denbo Transport. So this is a super experienced businessman, and he's sharing the testimonial about my coaching. So he's not blowing smoke. Like that's real. And I know a lot of guys listening are on the fence about the coaching I offer. And so I want to just speak directly to you. Like it worked for Bill. It will also work for you. It's life-changing. It will massively help you in your company, your relationships, your faith, whatever other challenges you are. So give it a shot. At least shoot me a text saying I'm interested. My number is 604-703-9045. You will not regret it. So just say I'm interested. Text me 604-703-9045. It is worth it. And if you know Bill, talk to him about it. You got something? I'll go to my next note.
No, go to your next note.
Okay, you have in here Conquer Series. No, Life Renewal, Coaldale.
Oh, yeah. I don't have the exact location yet, but our times. But
what is Life Renewal? What's happening here?
Life Renewal. This is for Southern Alberta folks, obviously, Coaldale.
Yeah.
For those that are in Southern Alberta and would feel more comfortable going to a Dutch Reformed Church, Canadian Reformed Church in Coaldale is hosting Life Renewal this September, to my knowledge. I hope I'm not butchering this, but I'm 90% sure they are. And I don't have the link to the actual site yet, but I will get it and we can post it next week or something. But,
okay.
Life Renewal is basically a Canadian Reformed sanctioned version of Freedom Session. So there's a few tweaks to the program that Ken Dick agreed to. And then they have their own books and stuff like that. And there's some prayers that are different, and just a few areas that are a little more reformed in the teaching. So I've done parts of it. I haven't done all of it. But great content. Lots of guys I know are leading Life Renewal here and doing Life Renewal in Chilliwack. And so I just thought I'd throw that out there. They can just message your podcast and I'm sure you can get them the link, or they can message me.
Right, yeah. And Freedom Session is just starting in Central on Thursday nights in September. I think the link is live. You can sign up for that.
The link is live for
Chilliwack.
The fall. Probably still looking for a few more facilitators. If any of your people that have done it before or feel called to.
Ask Nicole.
Yeah.
She's going to do it. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Conquer Series.
I'm a little worried that there's not going to be like enough facilitators, right? Because you always wonder how many people are going to show up.
Yeah.
We'll cap it this year or something. Anyway, sorry, Conquer Series.
Yeah, so that's Thursday nights. But also, if you can't do Thursday nights, Main Street is doing a Conquer Series, which is another version of. It's not
Healing
actually. It's specifically for fighting pornography. Conquer Series, and Freedom Session is like anything. But that's Monday nights at Main Street. So Andrew,
is that part of their?
Yeah.
Is it Celebrate Recovery they do on Monday nights? Yes.
It must be, yeah.
Yeah.
But Andrew Flockstra, if you know him, but he's one of the leaders there. Great guy.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah. So.
What time is that at?
I'm not sure. Monday nights. But.
Okay. For guys and women.
Yeah. Don't know.
Okay.
Check the link.
Okay.
Go on their website.
Go on the Main Street website.
Yeah.
Yeah. People rave about the Celebrate Recovery there on Monday nights.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
It's a great program. Well-run program.
Awesome. So I seen this week that Freedom Convoy lawyer for Ava Chipyuk has been debanked by the Royal Bank of Canada, by RBC. So she's the lawyer for the two people that organized the Freedom Convoy, the trucker convoy. who are, the Crown is asking for 7-8 years in jail for, but no reason, no law cited, just a vague reference to federal regulations, and it just gets debanked. And it's wild that this is just happening in Canada, I guess. And, people can just like shut down a bank like this because they don't like you. Because on the flip side, so the Crown, the sentencing hasn't happened yet for Tamara Lynch and the other guy who organized the Freedom Convoy, but they're asking for 7 or 8 years for mischief. Basically, I don't think they did anything wrong. I think the Freedom Convoy was great, but then you have on the flip side,
unless you really dislike horn honking, which to be fair, I really dislike horn honking. My kid honks my horn 6 times in the garage. I'm unhinged running outside screaming at him, get out of there.
What do you hate more? Do you hate more
my bank account being frozen?
Yeah,
or my horn
your
honking?
Masks and like you have to stand 6 feet apart, and if you don't
give me
jabbed,
the horn honking.
Yeah, exactly.
Give me the horn honking.
Okay, so on the flip side, a man planning a bomb in Toronto synagogues. He was planning to plant bombs in Toronto synagogues to kill as many Jews as possible. Gets house arrest.
Yeah, I saw that. You're reading the same newspaper I'm reading.
This
right wing rag, the National Post.
He said, yes, Wash Dun Akbar. So this is what he said. And I have Jewish friends, and so this pisses me off even more. I know I'm gonna die because I'm gonna plant a bomb in every synagogue in Toronto and blow them up and kill as many Jews as possible. Akbar is quoted as saying, I'll make sure those attacks are filmed and posted online so the world can see what I've done. So the justice system in Canada says, hey, house arrest to this guy that's, seriously threatening to kill people. And then the people that organize honking, because the government is taking over control, we'll see what the actual sentence is, but very frustrating. Your take?
Yeah. I read an article last night. I was trying to find it now. But somebody wrote an article and went through the last 3 or 4 years of all the things that the Crown have, asked for 7 or 8 years for jail time. And like one of the first ones they posted was some guy that had sexually abused his 1-year-old girl, and they were asking for 6 or 7 years for this clown, right? So like it's embarrassing. Our justice system is broken in Canada.
Beyond broken.
I mean, I posted on something. Yeah.
You posted what?
Well, just the idea of like, I don't know if we should have elected judges.
I mean, that scares me.
That's terrifying too. I mean, in a lot of ways, I do think we have a good system. I just think that it comes down to our culture. I believe, and there again, I mean, judges are obviously meant to be completely non-partial and non-biased. But it's human nature, obviously, the idea of just being influenced by the culture and society, as I'm sure they are to some degree, and just the expectation, like there would just be this expectation in criminal, like it's all built on, forgetting the correct term now. People are yelling it at me, but it's just built on precedent, right? And it's whatever precedent is set, they're setting, prison sentences by. But even just the idea of the rules that we have about, time served and double time if you're in remand and, all these types of things where it's just people play the game then. Oh, I'm in remand, I'm booking double time. So they perpetually delay their case. Yeah. They finally go to trial, they get convicted, they've already time served, walked out. Like just, I don't know. It's interesting because we talk a lot in this podcast, like we're reading this book about grace. And it's a foreign concept to a lot of us, right? Because we are actually probably all justice seekers in our own mind, even though none of us actually really want justice.
Okay, give finish it.
But as a society, like as a society, there needs to be justice. Like we are heading down a very dark path when people that are well-meaning people start to realize, that there's not justice is not going to be served, right? Yeah. And everybody would agree that we don't want vigilante justice. Everybody would agree, even though they don't do it, that people should be innocent until proven guilty. Like that's just a healthy fabric of our society. That's how I feel. It's like, even with these hockey players, this is a good example, right? Those 5 guys, they're all in the NHL now. This happened, a decade ago. They're some of them have families and stuff. It's obvious that they had sex with this woman that, this young girl, and I'm sure they were mistreating her and I'm sure they were not being respectful towards her and whatever, but they were all crucified long before they ever went to trial. Right. And it's that when you lose that, it's no different than it's not near serious, but when you lose the idea of an independent Federal Reserve, like the systems that we have been built over hundreds of years of democracies and systems that work well. And so I guess to me, like I look at it, like I always joke about it because I've been to jail, not for a long time, but whatever, a week at a time, a couple different times, and some overnight stays. And like I've been to jail more than a lot of people that have sexually abused people and done all kinds of heinous crimes, right? So it's just, to me, it's not humorous because it's not funny, but it's just the idea of like there's certain things that we just do not take serious enough. And
I was listening this week to a podcast.
Don't know what the solution is, but
a podcast from the world and everything in it, the Daily News podcast, and they were talking in there about how the U.S. Olympic Committee now has banned transgender people from their things or whatever.
What is a transgendered person?
Basically,
how would they describe that? How would they define that?
I mean, I can't remember exactly, but basically,
do they do a penis check?
They must.
Okay.
Yeah, like very,
because that would be
very
that would make a man, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just make sure
exactly.
we're on the same page.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But they were saying in there, a lot of these changes are being flipped now back to like reality of like real biology,
reality.
Because people are speaking up, because people
finally
are actually talking. People are sharing their opinions, and like especially people that are like in higher positions, and they're not scared to lose. They're willing to lose their jobs, whatever, because they're willing to speak up. Yeah. And I think that needs to happen here with these issues too here in Canada. Like the Canadian culture just, for the most part, turns the other way and just says, that sucks. I don't like it. They'll tell their friends at home, but they don't say more than that. Like,
and to be honest, and there again, this is controversial for some people, but like that's what happened when you talked about the Freedom Convoy. That's what happened. Finally, it was just like, no, this is enough.
Yeah.
So people that are very like, total pacifists are just like, we've had enough. Right.
Exactly.
And I saw it. Like I saw it with the semi trucks, the people that I stood alongside of. You see people that are like, these are not angry people, but they just realize that eventually we just need to stop bending over.
Exactly.
And sanity needs to reign here.
That's right.
And we need to get back to living life. Right?
But just like in a marriage, when you're upset, you shouldn't like bury it and like hold it in forever and then blow up.
No. Knew I was doing something wrong. Son of a beater.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Anyways, because otherwise you just blow up. So I think that's here too. It's just like just talk about it. You don't necessarily like have to post it all the time, whatever, on social media, but talk about the fact that our Canadian system is this messed up in these different areas, because culture does make a difference. Like change does happen when we say, hey, this is crap. Like we can't have this. Like we can't have this. People like threatening to kill a whole bunch of Jews.
And politicians are weather vanes.
Yeah,
political parties are weather vanes. You look at like even like the Liberal Party that's in now with Mark Carney leading it. I mean, they got rid of the carbon like tax. They took all kinds of things from the Conservative platform, and just took them under their name in order to appease the people, right? Like, it's no moral compass.
I just want to hop and say one more thing about Furiously Curious Recruiting. Still looking for a bunch of jobs to fill.
Okay.
But if you have a job you want to, and you're looking for somebody, I was sharing this again today. Like the listeners of this podcast have the same values that we do, sort of.
Some.
Otherwise, they wouldn't be listening.
Some.
And so,
or they just like looking down on us.
They'll probably show up to work on time. They could be way
better people.
They'll be good employees.
Hopefully, they show up to work on time better than I show up on time for the podcast.
That's fair. Anyways, and so if you advertise here, you'll likely get a good employee. Or if you're looking for a job, reach out to me and we'll hook it up. But anyways, water systems installer, Chilliwack based, well water pump treatment, installation, ideal for handy people with experience, $40 an hour, open to an apprentice as well, 18 to 20 years old, eager to learn, $25 an hour. Small company, smaller team vibe, Christian guys. And then also another, a little bit of a bigger company here in Chilliwack. Full benefits, heavy duty mechanic on industrial equipment, but like grinders, screeners, loaders, all the heavy stuff, $45 an hour, full benefits. And then also an HR generalist, Chilliwack based as well. Strong administrative skills, Monday to Friday, 50 to 60 grand a year. So interested in those roles, email Kyle at furiouslycurious.co or text me 604-703-9045. If you want to post a job as well, let me know.
Can I read this thing here?
This thing from Marriage by Charles Spurgeon?
Yeah.
Good, because I want to get it off the thing. It's way too long.
Because it's so long. Oh, man. OCD. I just read this the other day.
And it's in Old English. Want me to translate it quickly?
No, I do not. English? Do not put it in AI. No. Oh, man, you are doing it too. You're copying and pasting it, Ezra.
Okay.
Can I just read it, please?
Yes, read it. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
This is, so just for context, Gary put a note into our shared chat here by Charles Spurgeon on marriage.
Yeah,
so.
This is what he wrote. You expect that you will be married and then your troubles will be over. Some say that then they begin. I do not endorse that statement, but I'm sure that they are not over For there is another set of trials that begin then. It is wise. Whoa, it just disappeared.
Huh?
Sorry, trials that begin then. It is wise to marry when we can marry wisely, and then the sooner the better. I'm going to read it one more time. It is wise to marry when we can marry wisely, and then the sooner the better. Married life is not all sugar, but grace in the heart will keep away most of the sours. When husbands and wives are well yoked, how light their load becomes. A well-matched couple carry a joyful life between them, as two spies carried the cluster of Escol. Am I pronouncing that right? You can't handle this.
Asking the wrong
I didn't read this part, I don't think. They are a brace of birds of paradise. I did not get this far down. They multiply their joys by sharing them and lessen their troubles by dividing them. This is fine arithmetic. When a couple fall out, there are always faults on both sides, and generally there is a pound on one and 16 ounces on the other. I have no doubt that when there is much love, there will be much to love, and where love is scant, faults will be plentiful. Marriage was the last relic of paradise left among men, and Jesus hasted to honor it with his first miracle. I love that quote.
Say it again.
I love that whole quote.
What do you like about it? Why did you put it in there?
Oh, I put it in there because somebody I knew was having some marriage trouble, and when a couple falls out, there are always faults on both sides, and generally there's a pound on one side and 16 ounces on the other. Now, I mean, that's probably not accurate and not fair, because there's often one party that is just way less invested in a marriage, or definitely falling short in their obligations as a husband or a wife. But just the idea of, boy, if we are looking, like he talks about here in the faults, like if we are looking for things to be dissatisfied with, you are sure to find them.
Yes.
As your spouse would be if they were looking at you that way.
Yes.
And boy, like if we start with an attitude of gratitude where it's just like, man, we're appreciating our husband or wife. And I guess I feel like in my marriage, it's not always easy, but it's like the line about even just like, if you're well yoked, how light things become, and how if you do things together, like, they're a brace of birds. They multiply their joys by sharing them and lessen their troubles by dividing them, right? And I think in a lot of ways, Marie and I do that. Like we do have a lot going on. There's a lot of struggles. And I mean, she does 80% and I do 20. So I don't know, is that dividing them? I guess so. The 80-20 rule. But just the idea of, hey, you carry the weight, you help carry the weight, right? And when one person is just fried and is in a horrible mental state, and that happens in our house, the other person, picks up the load and says, hey, you need a break. You need I got this, right? And I think rather than, hey, how are my needs being met? And there again, it's easy to talk about in a divine way. It's obviously not that simple, but
he mentions the word love in that quote, and it makes me think of, like, a lot of times our definition of love is like our feelings, love that person. But so I'll read 1 Corinthians 13 and gives what the definition of love actually is. Love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it's not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices in the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, all perseveres. And so that's what love is. When you're told to love your spouse, you're told to go, like, not your feelings, but like, go be patient. Like, honor them, love them. And I've experienced this. Like, I have a 4-month-old baby at home, and Nicole said to me, Nicole said to me 4 weeks ago, I was in the kitchen. She was in the kitchen. I was in the living room. And she goes, are we best friends? And I'm like, yeah, I think we are. And the first 10 years of our marriage, that would never have come out of either of our mouths. Not once. Or when we were dating. We separated 5 times. Like, it was bad.
Mostly your fault.
Mostly my fault.
80% your fault.
Yes.
If we're going to give it percentages.
Yeah. And just awful. But Dave Curry told us, lean into each other, like, seek God first and love, and things can heal. And it is wild, the healing we have. It's a miracle.
And things are not all easy. So that's actually the coolest part, actually, because there's not a lot of things are probably really, really hard, actually, and not as good as they were.
And like, you don't know, a lot of days you just, like, you don't know the end of the story, right? When you're in the crap, you don't. 3 years ago, I didn't know what today would be. But what faith is, like, doing the right thing is just like, it's not about then, it's just holding on. And now, like, this morning recently we started this new thing. It's like, hey, what do we need to get done in the next 18 hours? And so we share it with each other. What we need to do, we hold hands and we pray together to get those things done and for each other, to like for strength. And so I know there's a lot of shitty marriages out there, a lot of hurting ones.
Well, they're all on the spectrum somewhere, right? Every marriage is.
That's right. Yeah. A lot of people don't talk about it or don't have hope or like don't, but you can heal. Like it's amazing what you can do. Yeah, it does take two. And if there's only one, it's brutal. But yeah, there's just, you remember that. So
that verse, the 1 Corinthians chapter, which is probably not overused, but it's definitely like in marriages and stuff. It's overquoted, I feel like, because it's just used by everybody, even non-Christians, and no one really gets into the meat of what it means, right? But you talk about, even for me, and I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm childish, but like I often think about what my needs are, what I want or what I expect. And then it's fascinating how the other night we have our marriage meeting and we have our, all our 4 points in our marriage meeting. And then at the end, we talk about the last one is problems, issues, things, whatever. And like, now it's healthy to talk about issues. Like it's definitely not healthy to stuff it. Like you said earlier, that will lead to serious issues. Yeah. But also there's the other side of it. And it hit me on the other night. So it's going to bring up something. And then I thought, well, like true love is just keeping no record of wrong. Right. And that's just counter to human nature. Like,
it's like a chapter we read.
Yeah. It's just, so like, I'm wrestling with that personally, where it's like, hey, what does this mean in a marriage? Where like, hey, I obviously need to be open about how I feel, but also I probably just need to, similar to what we learn in freedom sessions, where you just deal with it with God. Like God can handle it, and
let go.
He can help us forgive, learn to let go, and just don't be petty. And I mean, like I say, I'm not great at it, but definitely a journey of kind of like, hey, just being easygoing, realizing that as a general rule, most spouses are trying to do the best they can, even if they suck.
Yeah.
Right? Like most people are trying to be a decent husband or wife. They may be failing miserably, but like most people are not actively trying to be a horrible partner, right? It's just that either they weren't brought up well, they don't have the tools, or, life's just
a lot of it's education. Like just a lot of things you just don't know. Reminds me of something earlier you said, talking about justice. With the grace of God, justice was done. It was done on the cross.
Yeah.
Like it's not like God forgives just willy-nilly because of justice was done because he put the full wrath of him, like of our sin, on Jesus on the cross, and justice was done there. So justice is really important. One other thing, me and Nicole are starting a weekly podcast as well, but it'll be another tier on Patreon. So Patreon only, and it'll probably be weekly. And I'm not sure on the price yet, but so I'm not sure if anybody will listen or not, but
you have to make it really expensive if you only have 2 listeners. Hopefully a lot of people pay a little bit, and they can be pretty cheap.
Thanks for listening, guys. If you have any questions or things we want to talk about, send them in. You can send them in anonymously at furiouslycurious.co. That's my website, or on any of the social medias. We'll answer and ask anything. And if you liked it, please share the podcast, subscribe on YouTube. Almost at 1,000 subscribers, and then I can actually monetize the thing. This thing just costs me money right now. So,
and on that note, somebody did send in an anonymous compliment, which was really nice.
I did very much appreciate that.
Yeah.
It was encouraging.
Didn't need to share it because it was whatever, but it's just interesting to get stuff where you got a rough idea where people are coming from based on but it was just a real word of encouragement. And I mean, I get a lot of that just out and about, even at the roller hockey tournament. There's people there that I never would have guessed listened, right? And I always ask for constructive feedback every time, but the people that actually admit that they listen never skewer me, right? So, and it's funny because the thing he said, and everybody always says it to me, it's just it's almost the exact same line. They're always like, oh yeah, it's just really honest, right? And I always joke with Maria, I'm not that honest on there. So it's just a bit weird.
Well, it's definitely more honest than
most podcasts,
but also our first episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you go listen to it, watch our first episodes, it's pretty, whatever. Thanks, guys.
Have a great week.
Okay. I got a meeting
at 3 minutes
in 3:30 off site.
Go time.
Off site. Bye.